Welcome to Be in the World Yoga. I'm Christina, and we're going to do an invigorating, heart-opening yoga practice. And this is going to help us to open up and lift up our chest so we have fantastic posture and also to strengthen our spine. So let's get started. Let's begin sitting in a nice seated position on the floor. You can sit in the position I'm in right now, which is called Hero's Pose, where you're sitting on the shins and sitting on the heels. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, take a block, place that underneath your sit bones, and you can come to a nice cross-legged position. And then that could feel nice for you. So pick one of those. Another option is just to take the block and place it right underneath your bottom, between the legs here. And you could do that too. Okay, so coming to that comfortable position, let's take our hands face up on top of our thighs. Sit up nice and tall and close your eyes. Take 3 cleansing breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out a nice sigh through the mouth. Take an inhale. Let it all go on the exhale. 2 more of those. One more. Gorgeous. And gently take the lips to close. Bring your attention and awareness to the breath at your nostrils now. Watch the breath as it goes in and out through the nostrils. So you're observing the breath here with your mind, with your focus. And now we'll try to deepen the breath, sending the breath into the belly. So see if you can expand your belly nice and big here. Take a big inhale. Exhale out through the nose. And if you want, you can practice Ujjayi Pranayama, Ujjayi breath, which is when you take that inhale, you hear that breath hit the throat. And on the exhale, you hear the breath exhale out and hit the throat there. So it's almost like making that Darth Vader sound in your throat here. Or it sounds like an ocean, if you prefer to think of it that way. Centering yourself, filling up your belly. And let's take one full breath, filling up the belly, the center of your chest, all the way up to the clavicles. And exhale out through the nose. Do that one more time and hold it at the top. Inhale. Spreading the rib cage open. Exhale. Beautiful. Take your palms together to heart center and think about what you are grateful for. Something maybe you'd like to say thank you for, to show appreciation to invite that sense of love and joy into your heart. Beautiful. And if you'd like, you can take your hands over your heart here. Take a few breaths. Thinking about what you're grateful for. Beautiful. And take your hands, float them back down to your thighs, flutter your eyes open. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky, clasp the hands, and turn the palms out. Nice little stretch here. Inhale, look up to the sky if you like, opening the throat. Exhale, drop those shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful. Inhale, press the palms of the hands up again. And exhale, take the hands, float them down to the floor. Clasp your hands behind your back and roll your shoulders open. Inhale, lift up your heart. Exhale. Inhale. Drawing those shoulder blades closer together. Exhale. One more breath. Lift up your heart. You can push your fist into the ground. Beautiful. And exhale. Relax those shoulders. Come back to center. We're going to face the top of our yoga mats and come into tabletop position. Fingers spreading away from each other. Make sure your knees are underneath the hips and your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Spread through your fingers, and if this bothers you a little bit, you can take the forearms onto the floor. We're going to do a bunch of cat-cows here, just opening up the spine. Inhale, peel your heart open. Exhale, round your spine. Lift your spine up towards the ceiling. Inhale, draw your shoulders back. Peel your heart open. Exhale. And taking a few more rounds of cat-cow. Moving with the breath. You can have the toes tucked or untucked, whatever feels comfortable for you. Beautiful. Inhale, back to tabletop position. We'll walk the hands forward, keeping the hips over the knees, walking our hands to puppy pose. Press your hands into the ground and spread through your fingers. Take an inhale. And exhale, forehead comes to the ground. Take a few breaths here, lifting up your armpits. Beautiful. See if you can create some length in the low back by reaching the tailbone back behind you. Maybe the chin comes to the ground. Beautiful. Inhale, come onto the forearms and walk the knees back behind you, making your way into Sphinx Pose. Point the toes here, press the hands into the ground and lift up, tailbone reaching down. We're going to take our hands and pull them back to peel the heart forward. Take a few breaths here. Gazing forward. You can open up the neck here, or you can gaze down at the floor to keep the back of the neck long. Beautiful. And then come back lifting up the hips. Walk the knees underneath the hips. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes and press your way into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here in downward dog. You can shake out your head to let go of any tension. Explore taking the top parts of your arms and rounding them down and out. So I'm going to show you the direction, rounding them out, round and out, so that you're creating space between the shoulder blades. Take a few breaths here. Beautiful. Take an inhale. Exhale, knees come to the floor. And sit back onto your heels in a child's pose. Forehead comes to the floor. Take your hands back behind you. And start to melt the shoulder blades away from the spine here. So letting the shoulder blades almost fall to the floor, or the shoulders almost fall to the floor here. Soft breaths here. Inhale, your arms reach up overhead and come back into tabletop position. Tuck your toes, and you can grab a block or two, actually 2 blocks, place them on the side. If you need to bring them pretty high, you can bring them this way, or you can bring them to the middle or the lower, or not use them at all if you want. And we're going to step our right foot forward. Rise on up. Right hip or left hip is actually over the left knee. Right knee is over the right ankle. Take a long spine here And keep that tailbone reaching down, the low belly lifting up as you exhale and soften into this pose, Anjaneyasana. You can take the blocks underneath the hands here, tuck the back toe to keep the back leg active, or point the back toe. So we're opening up the front part of our body. We want to open up the hips first. Take a few breaths. Keep pressing the right big toe into the ground. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky, palms come together, and exhale, clasp the hands behind the back, roll your shoulders back, and lift up your heart. Take a few breaths, gazing forward here. Keep the back of the neck nice and long, shoulders moving away from the ears. Beautiful. Take your hands to the ground, and to open up the back part of our right leg, we're going to extend through the right leg. Take a few breaths here. And walk your hands forward. Take both knees together. Step your left leg forward, rise on up. So start with the right hip over the right knee. Take an inhale. And exhale, soften that hip forward. Take a few breaths. Back toes can be tucked, or you can untuck them. That also helps take pressure off the knees, so you might feel a little bit less pain. Beautiful. Press the left foot into the floor and inhale those arms up. Exhale, soften into the hips. Take another inhale, gazing forward, and exhale, clasp the hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders back. Lift up your heart as you gaze forward. Squeeze your thighs inward toward the midline of your body. Beautiful. Hands to your blocks and straighten through the front leg. You're going to inhale to lengthen your spine and exhale, hinge at your hips. Flex and spread through the toes of the left foot here. If your elbows are bending, you could probably bring the hands down to the floor. Beautiful. And then walking your hands forward, take your knees down to the ground. You're going to place the blocks over to the side there. And coming into tabletop position, take a nice inhale. And exhale, walk your hands forward to come into puppy pose again. Forehead comes to the ground or chin. Lengthen your spine. Keep spreading your beautiful fingers and pressing the thumb to the pinky finger into the ground. Gorgeous. And come onto the forearms for Sphinx Pose. Peel your heart up. Pressing the hands into the ground. Drag the hands back to lift your heart forward. And we're going to come all the way onto the floor here. So take your forehead onto the floor. Open your arms up like a T, and I'm not putting too much pressure down because I have a mic here. Then we're going to roll all the way onto one side. I'm going to start off with my right side. You're going to take your left hand, press it into the ground, roll onto your right side. Now this leg can bend and point upward. If it doesn't do that, it could just lay right on top of the right leg here. Beautiful. This left hand can do anything you want it to do. It could just stay right on the floor there. And so you see this right arm extending, opening up the right side of your pectoral muscles here. So taking a few breaths. Your leg can be up like mine here. Gorgeous. Roll back onto your tummy. And we'll take it to the other side. Extending your arm. Extending both arms first. Make sure your head is on the ground as you do this. Bending your right knee now. Taking some breaths. I'm going to bring my arm very close to myself so I feel comfortable. This is a nice resting pose. We call it Ujjayi Pose. Beautiful. And bringing yourself back to center, right back onto your belly. Take your fingers and your hands back behind you and inhale. Peel the heart up off the ground. Just strengthen the spine here. Reach the crown of the head forward. Take 3 breaths. Lifting into Locust Pose. Back of the neck is nice and long. Beautiful. Lower down. Take one hand on top of another and take your head over, left ear on your hands here. Gorgeous. And we'll bring our head back to center. Reach the fingers back behind you. Inhale, peel the heart up off the ground. Take 5 breaths if you can here. Nice deep breaths. Ujjayi Pranayama if you like. Hear that breath in the throat. You got it. One more breath here. Exhale, lower down. Palms one on top of another, hands one on top of another, and take your right ear down to the floor. Soften your shoulders here. Let those elbows splay out. Let your glutes soften, releasing the tension in the legs. And bring yourself back to center. Take your hands back behind you one more time. Inhale, peel the heart up off the floor. We're going to take 5 to 7 breaths here. So it's your choice. Take an inhale. Exhale. And continue to breathe. We're strengthening our spine here in Locust Pose. Tailbone is pressing into the ground. Back of the neck is nice and long. And if you're doing 7, one more breath here. And exhale. Take your forehead to the floor this time. Shake out your hips. Loosen your glutes. Gorgeous. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a deeper back bend here. Bend your knees. Grab your ankles. Guide your thighs towards the center of your body, but they can stay a little bit open. Don't worry about it. They don't have to be completely close together. Inhale, press the ankles into the hands as you peel the heart up. You might rock as you're doing this, so take a few breaths. You can point the toes or flex the feet. Let your head hang here, or your neck be nice and long. Keep reaching the toes up. Exhale. Soften to the ground. Forehead comes right on top of the hands. Shake out your bottom. Shake out the hips. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, and we'll come onto the knees here. Tuck your toes for Camel Pose. From here, lift up so that the hips are over the knees. The thighs are going to draw back and the hips forward. Inhale, lift up your heart, and exhale, reach one hand at a time behind you. Now you can take blocks if it's easier to reach. Taking one hand at a time, tailbone reaches down. Send your hips forward and your thighs back. You can gaze up with the chin tucked or let your head drop back here. Make sure you're breathing. Beautiful. Bring your chin to the chest. Sit back onto your heels. gorgeous. Coming right back into the pose you started in. And hopefully that feels beautiful and heart-opening and energizing for you. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing in your yoga practice with me today. And please remember to share, like, and comment, and also subscribe to us on our YouTube page so that we can give you more wonderful content like this. And also, please check out our website, beintheworldyoga.com. We have a great blog there and just wonderful information to share with you. Have a nice day. Namaste.